So, to set the scene, this is a record run. We had adjudicators from the India Book of Records at this drive. We had officials from Mercedes. This was the commencement of a very, very serious drive. It was a timed run, so obviously time was of the essence.
He just opened the door, and by the way, this man was not wearing any clothes except a brown colored underwear. He had no clothes on, and well, he opened the door.
This one time when I spent, I think, 16 or 18 hours behind the wheel, and it was starting to get. This was actually during my raid attempt.
Oh.
And it's a ghost story. So that this kid who obviously can't carry a mirror that long is running along the road with the mirror under his arm. What freaked me out is how clearly I could see myself, my car, the aux lights in the mirror. I slammed the brakes. The moment I slammed the brakes, obviously, I guess adrenaline, whatever kicked in, and the kid was gone. Hello and welcome to Connecting Rod, and this time we're doing a slightly more casual episode than usual. Joining me today is Anagh, and we're talking about the lakhs and lakhs of kilometers that we spent on the road and the stories, the fun stories that often don't make it to the editorial side of things. This is a little unscripted, it's a little casual. It's about the whole lot of laughs and the whole lot of unique things that we get to see having spent lakhs and lakhs of kilometers on the road within this country. We'll start with Anagh. You've done a whole lot of drives in your time at Auto Today. What is that one story that you can pick to top it all off?
Well, the one story that I have is, as we call it, the brown chaddi man. This was, of course,
Set the scene for us.
So this was, of course, when we were, commencing our record drive with the Mercedes EQS, and we had chosen, Varanasi as a starting point because of its location and all. And we were starting right from the Taj Hotel because that had one of the largest chargers there. And
the only charger, I think it was.
Yeah. So
to set the scene, this is a record run. We had adjudicators from the India Book of Records at this drive. We had officials from Mercedes. This was the commencement of a very, very serious drive. It was a timed run, so obviously time was of the essence. We started the drive. Now we are at Taj, just flagged off. The EQS, the Mercedes EQS sedan, was the car of choice for this drive. So we turned out of the hotel, and Anagh, you can take it away from there.
Well, right as we turned out of the hotel, we just needed to take a quick shot in front of the hotel of the EQS, and as we
the equipment.
Our DOP had just set up the gimbal, and he was ready with the shot, and the car had just parked up in front of the the main gate of the hotel, and I'm waiting with the DOP, and our editor Yogen and a former colleague Dhruv were in the car. They were setting off for the first leg. And I see a man walking in. It was obviously pretty dark. It was nearly midnight. As far as I remember, it was exactly midnight actually. And this guy walks in, and he is wearing...
So into the frame.
Yeah, into the frame first of all. So my DOP shouts, get out of the way, get out, nikal wahan se. And he just keeps walking towards the car, right at the car. And because, EQS has those door handles that, pop out, right, when it's parked. So he walks up to the car, and by this time we are shouting, but we were anyway 30, 40 feet away from the car, and he just opened the door. And by the way, this man was not wearing any clothes except a brown colored underwear. He had no clothes on, and well, he opened the door. And
Which door?
The rear door of the EQS. And then we shouted even more. And then I started running towards the car. Then I could see Yogen and Dhruv just in absolute shock, because you do not expect anything like that, right? Like, you're sitting in a car and somebody randomly opens the door. Like, what? Right? He opens the door. We are shouting at him. I'm running towards him. And I think just a few seconds pass. He looks at us again, fully aloof, like he doesn't care at all. And he sits inside the car.
So now the EQS has Dhruv, Yogen, and the brown chutney man of
yes,
Banaras.
yes.
Nice.
So, and by the time that I reached the car, he's already shut the door. And in all the confusion, I'm shouting at him. And by the way, this is like a 2 crore luxury sedan, so sound insulation is very good. So obviously I'm shouting, but he's not hearing me clearly. Even
And they were shouting in the car.
they were shouting in the car, and I think Yogen probably locked the car accidentally. So while I was trying to grab the door handle to open it to pull him out, the door handle went in, right? So then I'm knocking on the window, and like it was just 10, 15, 30 seconds of frenzy. The hotel guard also came. He was also shouting. I'm shouting at him, why are you not getting him out? And well, to be fair, again, a naked man. I do not want to touch him and pull him out. I do not know what to
Where
do.
he's been.
Exactly. And by the way, he sat right in the middle. He was not sitting here, he was not sitting that side. He was sitting right in the middle. And he was like, yeah, ready to go. He said nothing. He said nothing during the entire thing. He was just silent. He was just happy and smiling. Okay. And then I think Yogen got out and like we
Left
opened-
Dhruv in the car.
Yeah, left Dhruv in the car. And according to Dhruv, Yogen was shouting, Anagh, get him out. And again, I couldn't hear Yogen because...
But couldn't you see the animation on the
Yes,
inside?
I could see he was going, both of them were going crazy. And both of them then got out of the car. And then I
Now
think
the
one...
brown chutney man is the only occupant.
Yeah, he was the only occupant of the EQS then. And then like I think 2 minutes later, he somehow got out of the car. And then we didn't shoot. We were just like, okay, bye. Like guys, let's just go. Then
So how did you get him out ultimately?
we just shouted at him like
He
continuously.
left of his own accord.
Yeah, he did come out of the car on his own.
On his own.
Yeah.
And then he just left into the night.
Yeah.
Now, again, all of this is happening while we are starting a timed run for a record. The tensions were through the roof. It was crazy. I can only imagine what it was like. I heard stories of it, of course, because I was supposed to meet the car in
Kolkata.
Calcutta at the time, yeah. And I heard stories of it, but living it must have been a completely
It
different
was, yeah.
experience altogether.
It was like
in fact,
nothing else.
immediately after that, they got out of the Banaras and straight into a 6-kilometer long traffic
Yeah.
jam,
They took, I
Which-
think, 4 hours or something to just cross it.
which Yogen then walked, I think, the distance.
He walked almost 11, 12 kilometers. He sent a photo of his Fitbit. See, that's how many steps I've done.
to clear the traffic so we could get through and move. So, I mean, once you've seen the editorialized version, so to speak, it's really we've done a lot of sanitization to the story, but the things that go on in the background is exactly what we're trying to highlight in this story of how much actually goes into a drive.
Precisely.
I think one of my all-time favorite stories is this one time when I spent, I think, 16 or 18 hours behind the wheel, and it was starting to get it. This was actually during my raid attempt,
Oh.
and like it's a ghost story, but I don't believe that it was actually like a specter.
I mean, yeah. We choose not to believe so.
I mean, I don't think they exist because I was severely sleep deprived at this point. We've just done 2 days of the raid. The third day, it was a transport stage on the way from somewhere in the Himalayas to another point where we were supposed to start the next day. My co-driver had left. I was alone in the car. 16 to 18 hours of no sleep, just driving,
And in those
competitive driving,
in those temperatures.
those
and
temperatures, those altitudes. Doing the transport stage, I turn a corner and I see this little kid. Okay, he's got a mirror under his arm,
Like
and
a mirror,
that's-
like a mirror.
like a mirror. Okay, and the mirror is slim and long, and it's about the length of the road. And the level to which your mind can play tricks on you is apparent by just the detail. So that this kid who obviously can't carry a mirror that long is running along the road with the mirror under his arm. What freaked me out is how clearly I could see myself, my car, the aux lights in the mirror. I slammed the brakes. The moment I slammed the brakes, obviously, I guess adrenaline, whatever kicked in, and the kid was gone. But that is the extent to which we end up pushing ourselves sometimes, and like the crazy experiences that we have as a result.
It's a mixture of no sleep and, I mean, almost being in the flow
Exhaustion, yeah.
state, driving in the flow state while being completely exhausted. You know, a lot of times we, attempt a lot of drives for the, I mean, for the, every, the photos, the videos, and the records that we put together. And sometimes the toll that it takes is just, I mean,
You have a very similar ghost story, from Bangalore, I believe.
yes, it was during this year's Drivers of Change with Mahindra, and we had sort of like chilled around for 3 days
Yeah.
in Bangalore because like we had interviews lined up, and
Mm-hmm.
so. But then we had the transport stage from Bangalore to Trivandrum, and it's a 800 something kilometer journey, so it was fine. But actually, the thing was that we did the interview in the afternoon, and then we left. So I mean, it was a long one, and I think we were midway somewhere, and it was right before we had eaten, and it had been like probably 3-4 hours continuous driving, and I was on the wheel. Abhinav was sitting right beside me. Of course, it was a convoy of 3 cars, right? And it was one of those elevated sections of the road, and we see. Uh, I mean, I saw it from the my peripheral vision, of course, the side of my vision, that there was a lady standing on the barrier, right? And she appeared to have no head, like there was no head above the torso at all. And I saw that, and Abhinav also saw that, and he looked at me 5 seconds later, and I just said, "Did she not have a head?" And then we were silent. So just to confirm, I was like, "Okay, cool." So I took out the walkie and I was like, "Guys, did you see the lady on the left side of the road?" And we were not like, we were maintaining low speeds actually then, because we were, I think, slightly low on fuel, so we were trying to be efficient. And the other cars were like, "What lady?" And this was she was in a white sari, I think, and like in the middle of the night, it's very visible, right? And then both of us were like, and then like half an hour later, one of the one of our kid guys, I think, one of the helpers, he's like, I saw that. And, and then we were like just confused, and we were like, guys, we need to get to Trivandrum fast, because it was just very, it was mind boggling. Then, okay, she's standing. She had like stuff also, like there was a bag as well, but no head at all. We couldn't spot one.
What is your most eventful drive?
Eventful drive.
Yeah.
Um, I'd say it would be Drivers of Change itself,
Yeah.
more or less. I mean, because of the scale of it, because of how many things were happening on the day-to-day basis.
Tell us your favorite picks from Drivers of Change.
Well, you obviously know about the mauling of the bulls that happened.
No, tell us.
You were there.
I was there, but
So we have reached. I think this
so
was.
set the scene a little bit. Tell us a little bit about Drivers of Change.
So of course, Drivers of Change was our sort of, it was a drive across the country, of course, and we were meeting individuals who have done exceptionally well in their fields, be it technology, be it social work, be it climate activism, or be it for basically the forests, right? So one of the individuals that we were meeting and interviewing was in a section of Jharkhand called Chakulia,
Chakulia.
right? There was a doctor there, and she works as an animal conservationist, and she's got a gaushala,
Yeah.
as they call it, right?
With
And
21,000 bulls.
yes, 21,000 bulls. Keyword, right? And I mean, of course, when we entered, it was very strange. By the way, this place is actually built upon World War II era runways
It
that the
was
Britishers
the
used.
scale of the place is just incredible. It's something that you wouldn't like I hadn't heard of Chakulia till a day before we
Yeah.
reached there.
I was born in Jharkhand. I do not know about that place. People I know don't know about that place. But the scale of the place, and well, the thing was that when we had to shoot, we had to enter the, I'd say the enclosure with
We
all
do
the,
have like BTS footage, right? So we can.
yeah, we can show that. I mean, it was pretty scary because we were in the enclosure with, I mean, it was one of the enclosures, so of course it was, but like I would say it was 200, 300 bulls
So
together.
to ensure
And
that we had bulls around us. So these are the kind of things that happen on shoots that you don't really get to see. So naturally, for the frame where we are honoring this person who's running a goshala, we wanted bulls and the cows
yeah,
in the frame. So to do that, we carried a plastic bag of jaggery
yeah, they love
or
jaggery.
gur
They love
into
jaggery.
into an enclosure with at least 400 bulls, and these are not like small
They were of
bulls.
all sizes, I
Yeah.
must say. There was massive ones as well.
So you
And
have a favorite also, no?
yeah, I have a favorite because that one like poked me in my back while I was trying to run away, and then I had to climb a wall.
The scene, I mean, Anagh is not doing justice to the scene as people were scattering
People were running. We had
in
to
every
run.
direction,
See, you
climbing over walls, climbing through.
you are used to covering yourself from like okay three directions, but like you are covering. Okay, I have a bull here. I have a bull here. I have a bull here. But the surprise part comes when you turn around and there's a bull right there, right? So it just gets, and it was constant, right? We were just walking everywhere, and again, I think the bulls do not get a lot of visitors, so they were over friendly. I mean, imagine a dog, very friendly dog, but these are
But it's
bulls
a ton.
with horns,
Horns.
massive horns. So of course it was very scary. We did shoot. We did shoot. I mean, nonetheless, we shot it all. I mean, we were in the frame running around. Of course, we did that, but it was pretty mad. And when we saw the drone footage, do you remember the drone
Yeah.
footage? Because we were in only one of the enclosures.
One
And
section of
yeah,
that.
and when we saw the drone footage, it was never it just did not end. The drone kept
21,000.
going, and we just couldn't spot the end of the entire place. I
See.
mean, and conserving all those bulls and doing that, the scale of which is just incredible. I mean, especially given that we were right here in the enclosure and we got to see it firsthand. So just
I think my most eventful um, road trip, I won't call it a drive because I did it on a motorcycle, was the time I rode my own Ducati Monster from Calcutta to Pune for a story. It, I don't think there was a minute on that drive or on that ride where like it was just things business as usual. It was just constant craziness. I left Calcutta um, 2 days late because I went on leave and I was like, I'll leave on Wednesday and I should be back in office on which leaves me 5 days to ride back to Pune. Saturday morning, I wake up and I'm like, now I have to leave. Um
so it was full chat then.
it was full chat and full desperation because like I had to cover half the distance in 24
It would
hours,
be what 3,000 kilometers
3000
almost.
plus kilometers, and it was constant. So I left Calcutta, and at that time Jhargram was like really in the heat of the Maoist movement. Um I ride out. I'm entering Jhargram, and I see these four dudes in a Tata Sumo standing by the side of the road. Okay, they come out with sticks, and like naturally, my first thought is, okay, these are probably cops.
I mean, like you do assume that.
And then I remembered where I was,
I see.
and I hadn't. None of these people were. They were in civilian clothes. So my first thought was, okay, maybe they're not cops. But what do I do? How do I know? So
Did you brake or did you accelerate?
so I started slowing down, and while I was slowing down, I kind of assessed the situation. And I was like, If they kill me now, nobody knows exactly where I am. Because work thinks I left 2 days ago. So I should have covered that area by then. Home probably has an idea of where I am, but doesn't exactly know. This was way before like Google Maps was as prolific as it is today. Um, anyway, finally I decided, just I think 6 feet from them, I decided, F it, I'm going to gas it. I gassed it as hard as I could and just went under this dude's stick. I was like, cool.
Did you look back?
I'm past. I didn't look back. I just said I will. If they follow me, I will stop at the next police station, but not before that,
Yeah.
because like I don't know what's going to happen. They didn't follow me. Fine, kept riding. Now, on the way between Calcutta and Bombay, there's a road that says Bombay straight, but it's common knowledge to take the left.
Well, welcome to India's roads, guys.
Okay, cool. I took the straight. The road started getting progressively worse. At this point, I've ridden some 75 kilometers past that sign. Progressively worse. Had a puncture, fixed it.
Was
Progressively.
this a road that was supposed to be, or was it a road that was used to be?
It was a road that was used to be. Okay. Ultimately, the road disappeared. I'm riding on sand now. Okay. And at this point, it's like in my head, I'm not going to turn back. Sand, reach a river. Okay. And I'm like, I
No
saw
bridge,
one.
no bridge,
No
obviously.
bridge, no bridge, nothing. There's one dude with a catamaran, not even like a boat.
A canoe.
Canoe.
Yeah.
I have the picture somewhere. I will put it up on this. Uh, and I was like, भैया ये भुवनेश्वर का रास्ता. It's like वो, and legit across the river, I can see the elevated highway running.
Wow. So nobody bothered to change the sign that you
No.
nicely followed.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was like, like you can go back 75 kilometers, take the left from there. Or you can put your motorcycle, 230 kg Ducati Monster, on my canoe, I'll take it across.
He was confident.
I thought about it. I thought about that conversation with work about how I drowned my bike in a river and therefore I cannot reach on time. But 75 kilometers, I was not going to go back.
You put it in the boat.
I put it on the boat. we crossed the boat. Then it was fairly uneventful. We crossed the thing. I joined the highway. It was fairly uneventful till Vizag. I
But
slept
how much money did the guy take?
some $100 or something like that. Like,
They're running a small business.
yeah. He ferries bikes across, just not a 200 kg
Ducati.
Cool. I slept on the motorcycle outside on the highway in Vizag. Literally, like I slept on it. Head on the tank, legs straight out. Slept. I woke up when a truck went too close. I was like, okay, fine, it's wake up time. Got onto the highway, rode till Hyderabad. Hyderabad, again, fairly uneventful. Oh, no, not fairly uneventful. I did have a slight off and I stopped, like my helmet was this close to a bus tire. But again, relatively to the rest of the ride, fairly uneventful. At this point, I am some 36 hours continuous. Yeah. I reached on the 48th hour. Okay, yeah. So 36 hours continuous with that 3-hour nap outside Vizag. Next thing to happen, Hyderabad. To exit Hyderabad, you have to get on the elevated road. Motorcycles are not allowed on the elevated road.
Oh, no.
So I had to get off. I got off the elevated road and somehow, I landed up in Karnataka, which was about 400 kilometers from where I was supposed to be. It was the last run to Solapur. I'm riding. It's night. It's past 12, like night.
Hmm.
Oh, and I had one single helmet, one single visor, dark visor.
Oh no.
So night, full open, insects, diesel fumes, whatever. But I'm like, at this point, I'm riding through this jungle and there is nobody. I suddenly noted that I had not seen a single other person for 3-4 hours.
That
It,
is a scary feeling, especially in India. I mean,
I was I was slightly unsettled, but I still didn't know where I was. Okay, the context happens later. At some point in a little bit, I see one Ertiga. So I was like, I am scared at this point. So I latched onto his rear. For the first few kilometers, he was okay with it. Then I think he also got a little unsettled by how, because he realized that I could pass him whenever I wanted to.
I think he was also scared as to
Yeah.
why this guy is following me.
So he twice he tried to gap me in his Ertiga. Couldn't.
Obviously.
And I think that's when he got a little unsettled and we reached a police jockey. So he goes through the police jockey, comes out at the other end of it, just 10 feet from it, and he puts out his hand and he calls me in front. He's like, yes. I was like, listen, I know I've been following you for the last 2-3 hours, but I am scared. I am alone. I need to get to the Solapur highway. I don't know where I am. Nobody else knows where I am. He was a family. He had, like, you could see there were women in the car and all. He said, do you know where you are? Like, where? It's like, this is Virappan's forest.
Oh no.
I was like, so it was a good idea that I'm following you. Guy was very, very helpful. He stayed with me all along the way. He dropped his family home. Like, I went to his house. He dropped his family home. Then he drove me to the highway, showed me where the highway was. I got on the highway, reached Solapur. At this point, it is some 3:34 in the morning. I found a rest stop, chugged 2 Red Bulls. Now I have the last 250 kilometers to. Um, Again, my boss was waiting for me to be in office on Monday. This is 4 a.m. on Monday morning, 250 kilometers to go. So I chugged 2 Red Bulls, get on the motorcycle, elevated highway, blocked off on both sides, lit, which at the time for my dark visor was everything.
You could see finally.
Yeah. So I put down the visor and I was like, I'm just going to fly to Pune. As fast as I can, I will go. So I get onto the middle lane and I open throttle. I'm going. Then, like, and it was a smoky, foggy kind of morning. And believe you me, 40 feet from where I was, I see a lady. This again is a blocked off highway. Okay. Standing in the middle of the road.
Wow.
I was in high triple digits at that point. Legalish. And that lady was about 50 feet from where I was riding. I realized that the brakes were not going to work. I couldn't have braked out of the situation. So I just got off the motorcycle and I pulled as hard as I could away from her. That was all that I could do. Like, move the motorcycle, like,
Uh-huh.
steer away from her as fast as I could. I did. And she continued to stand in the middle of the road. I barely avoided her, and the pallu of her sari fell on my handlebar. And as it fell on my handlebar, it turned to smoke.
Wow.
My hair is literally standing. As I turned back, and there was just a plume of smoke, like in the shape of a lady, behind me.
So
Again,
spectral or smoke.
I at this point I'm good. Again, I'm going to attribute it to sleep deprivation. So, if you're ever wondering why you shouldn't be driving 40, 45 hours or riding 40, 45 hours, this is why. it takes an extreme toll on your mind, and like it's surprising what your mind can throw up when.
It can start creating things. It can do a lot of things, especially your body. I mean, even if there's a thing that you can avoid, generally, you won't be able to avoid it when your hands are tired, when your feet are tired, when your body is, you're breaking distance, you're accelerating, you're avoiding something, you're steering input, handlebar input. Everything's gonna change. I mean, it's just very difficult.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so you've done quite a few things with electric cars as well now. So, what's your most interesting, funny story with an electric car then?
I think again we'll go back to the EQS record because Murphy's law beat the living shit out
I
of us,
remember,
for
I
the
remember.
lack of a better word. It was everything that could go wrong did. We were, how many flights did we miss? 20 plus flights for multiple people were missed, and obviously each of them had a crazy domino effect into the next thing. But I think the most crazy run was the run between Calcutta and Vizag.
Oh,
The
are we talking about the
50s.
Bhadrak highway?
Yeah, so the EQS has 130 millimeters
30 something, yeah.
of ground clearance, which is nowhere close to enough. And
It does have a suspension lifting thing, though. I mean,
okay, yeah, since you brought it up, you're going to tell the story of the suspension lifting and yeah,
so,
the placebo that it was.
yeah, so it's got a suspension lift. Of course, like you just got a button. You just tap the screen, two buttons. Like it's a 5 second maneuver. Like you just press it, and all the time that we were in the car, it was in our brains, right? It works pretty fast, right? So we would
No, I don't think
approach.
anybody asked
Anybody asked,
the
we just
critical
assumed. We
question
just
of.
assumed because again the suspension lift again was so minimal that we couldn't feel it. So in a car that you could feel it, you'd be like, okay, it's done now. But in the EQS, it is so
How
minimal.
much lift does it give?
I think 20.
20, right?
Yeah. So it is so minimal that we were like, yeah, it's done because we couldn't notice the difference, right? So we are just like we approach one of those massive Indian speed breakers and we would be like, yeah, done. And we do this while crawling, like whatever, 5, 6 kmph, and we would then, of course, go over the speed breaker, corkscrew the car, turn it all the way that you are supposed to, handle these very low ground clearance cars, and then get away, right? The thing was, we learned in I think Chennai after
Doing the entire run.
3,500. Actually, after the entire run, basically, that it takes around 20 to 30,
45 seconds.
45 seconds for the suspension to lift,
And
and
at
we
no
will.
point were we. So, this particular stretch between Calcutta and Bhubaneswar on the Bhadrak highway, it was under construction. So, what was essentially a national highway was now a 2 lane road, dual carriageway,
With diversions on each side.
and it was a 10-kilometer stretch with 50 speed breakers.
I think it was more.
50 we counted.
Yeah, 50 we
So
counted because we stopped counting after a while.
that's how many speed breakers every.
I mean, we were encountering one every 30 seconds. It was taking 30 to 45 seconds to cross one, and then we were again at a speed breaker after 30 seconds. So it was madness.
It
And
was.
and again, we are going on the placebo effect that okay, we have pressed the suspension lift,
And now you have to understand we had to corkscrew the car. So essentially, when we would cross a speed breaker, we would be facing traffic coming the other way. And the EQS is not a short car. So
it's a long car.
it when you would corkscrew it over a speed breaker, you would cross over into the other side.
Other side of the
So you had
road.
to wait for trucks to stop moving on that side, cross over, cross back, and then repeat this.
Yeah, the number of times we
50
had to
times.
wave at truck drivers, ki, please stop, we have to move.
And we're usually the people who have tremendous respect for truck drivers and understand what it means for them to slow down and speed up.
yeah, I mean, like,
These-
it's so many gears they have to go through again to just gain that speed again because
Yeah.
they were not caring about the speed breakers. They were just going over them. Right? It was our car that, and
Needed the-
and we had an entire beeline behind us because we had to go so slow. And again, the road was not fine. It was anyway full of potholes and everything. Like there was dust because there was construction going on. There was dirt. There was gravel. There was everything. We were crawling And in a low car, I mean, yes, we do advocate that you can, own a supercar in our
Yeah.
country on most roads. But well, most people who own them, I think they know the roads that they're driving on.
Hmm.
They research them and they never take the risk
We
of.
did research
We did
the
research,
road. We did a
but
recce run before
nevertheless, it did not help. Actually, I think it got worse
over
on the
time.
main run when it was timed. I think it took them longer because they hit it right at the time when they were the most, most amount of truck traffic. There were more diversions compared to when we did the recce, and it was just, it was madness. Truly, it
What
was
is
tiring. Like you
the
can
most extreme situation you've been in a drive?
extreme situation. Oh, I must call back to our recent drive when we took the GLC to Ladakh.
Was that more extreme or the Thar more extreme? Or
Um,
the Zippo drive more extreme? Ooh,
no, I think I
Pani
would.
ka Atma.
Yeah, that was also scary. But like, okay, let me. We'll get back to the Panika Atma. So I would say the GLC one was more extreme because we had no there was no certainty. I was just like scared. Ki, oh my god, because I have read stories of people freezing to death in their cars,
Hmm.
right? And okay, the Thar one was scary, but like we could have just stopped by the side of the road and wait for someone to help us out. Like
Hmm.
it could have been, done like that.
Set the story for the GLC drive.
So we were, I think, shooting at Pangong.
Hmm.
And okay, so this was, I think, day 7 in Ladakh
Hmm.
because if any of you have been to Ladakh, you would realize that doing normal things there takes a lot of toll. And we are shooting, right? We are taking multiple takes. You guys were giving continuous PTCs again and again. The weather, it's sunny a minute, it's snowing the other, then it's windy, it is chilling to the bone. Temperatures were constant, I think -15 to -20 all the time. And this was, I think, the 7th day. And we were anyway, every day we were just tired.
Hmm.
And we were getting what, 5 hours of good shoot time. So we were at Pangong, we were shooting, we were done shooting, but then of course we need to take so many shots to bring our great visuals. And like, you guys should see the video, it's
Yeah, we leave a
truly
link.
incredible. But to bring that, we had to stay till it was almost sundown, I think, at Pangong. And then we left, and we had our GLC. And we were, and of course this is the GLC 300, right? It's got 4matic, it's got basically all-wheel drive, works. I mean, I must say that it works because I was driving for a bit, and we were going up the pass. I'm missing the name of the pass actually here.
Which one?
The pass that we were approaching.
Sela.
Yeah. So we were just going up the pass, and it was snowing, but of course it had been snowing for quite a while at the top of the pass. And the moment that we hit snow and fresh ice on the road, we hit black ice.
That was your first experience
That
of.
was my first experience of black ice, yes. And well, the car just I mean, there was no behavior. I mean, it was just like, I'm not going to do anything.
Yeah.
Because again, I was going, we were trying to, make up time because we had spent, so much time shooting. So we were just like, I mean,
The
slightly
crew
faster.
needs rest.
Yeah.
The
We just
equipment
need to
needs
reach the
charging. We
hotel.
need.
We hadn't eaten.
Everybody needs a hot shower, food.
We didn't eat. I mean, I think we had no lunch in
Yeah,
Ladakh
we
at all. We
all-
were just having breakfast and
yeah.
dinner. I mean, like, we were eating. That's all we were eating. So we
Protein
were like
bars and
going. I mean, fairly. We were just trying to make up time, and suddenly we hit black ice, and then you were like, "You'll take over," and then we reached the pass. Reaching the pass was still fine. It was nice. It was pretty. We got out. It was snowing. It was beautiful, right? Then came the route down, right? And as we were going down, there was of course traffic that had been coming from Pangong, and we realized, and then
this
like
is
we,
after we almost fell off
yeah,
the mountain
yeah,
several times. Not only our car, the crew car, because black ice. If you've ever driven on it, it's not really the most uh, assuring surface to drive on. In fact, I would say it is the worst. I mean,
absolutely dark, absolutely dark. The roads are just white. You cannot spot if there's black ice,
in the
if
middle
there's
of a
not.
snowstorm, because
In the middle of it was a blizzard almost.
visibility was hardly 10 feet, and we were just moving, and every time we would touch a spot of black ice, the car would just go for the edge. S- and the worst thing is, it would go for it. It was not like a snap. it would just like slide slowly,
So
slowly
yeah,
towards.
you are looking at the precipice of the cliff coming at you slowly. I'm like, have you braked? Yes, I am floored on the
No,
brakes.
no, you don't
But
flow. You don't flow the
I
brakes.
mean, you don't floor
You
the
don't.
brakes, but like it is just an absolute moment of silence. Everybody's quiet in the car because it is, you can do nothing. You can actually almost do nothing
Yeah.
while that's happening. And then again, we were going down, and then what happens is
And
that
thanks to
there's
Anagh, we didn't have snow chains either. Because he was supposed to organize the snow chains and he arrived for the drive without
yeah, I mean, you
them.
can try finding snow chains in Delhi. It's not that easy, I feel. But okay, moving on. So we arrived at, there were several trucks parked on the road,
Hmm.
right? And we stopped behind them. We were like, oh, I mean, like, of course, I mean, this happens in the mountains, right?
All the time, yeah.
You have to wait for the traffic to pass or whatever. We were
It had
just,
already happened several times that day, but this was again 11, 12
yeah.
o'clock in the night.
So I mean, waiting 5 minutes, then we waited 10 minutes, and then we were like, okay, what's going on? Then I got out of the car and I was like, okay, let me go and check. So I took the walkie and I walked ahead, and again, it was very difficult walking on that
You
surface.
fell, didn't you?
Yeah, I fell once or twice. Then I walked alongside the trucks, and I reached like I think the fifth truck, and there's nothing in front of the fifth truck. Okay, the drivers are chilling; they have a bonfire going, and I was like, oh, okay. And then I asked them, so they were like, "आप जा सकते हो. If you have a four-wheel drive or whatever car, you can go, but we are waiting because we cannot drive downhill with this kind of road surface."
Hmm.
And again we went, and now the problem was that the road was absolutely a gradient of a slope, and every time
With
we
no
would hit
traction.
traffic. So if you keep going, it's actually easier, but every time there's a vehicle parked, you have to, of course, touch the brakes, and the moment you touch the brakes, it is all
It's
in the
worth saying
mercy.
that both the cars we had were automatic, so there was
Yeah.
there was no question of letting it engine brake as such
Hmm.
through it, because engine braking would not come as soon as you lift off it. Auto clutches.
Yeah, and then I think one of those places where we were again stopped. We had to stop because there was traffic moving up and down. And then I was like, "How much longer can this be?" And you said, "Could be the entire night." And I was like, "Wow, I have no network. I have no nothing. I might just freeze here." And it was relentless. The snow was relentless, and I was just like, and I think we were even low on fuel. As far as I remember, we were low on fuel. We had no food because again we ate it all. I mean, whatever was there.
So Anag, you've been doing this for 5 years now.
No, I
This
mean three and a half, four
three and a
actually.
half years. You've had quite a bit of experiences. I think uh, I've had the privilege of being the one to break Anag in,
Which one was that?
so to speak. All these times, every single time, Anag has spent 11 days in the car. This is like legit 11 days in the car without a hotel, without flights. Everybody else was flying in and
I mean,
out
I took a total of two showers actually.
over.
9 days, 11 days almost. But bless the tire.
Yeah, Anag only got to go home because we
I
deemed the space that he was taking a, a little less important than a spare tire that we needed to carry for the rest of the drive.
yes.
So we finally got to send him home.
It was so nice. It was so nice. So yeah, I mean, every time, I mean, because these guys were, I mean, taking flights and everything. I had one flight basically, which was
Which you
in,
missed.
yeah, which I missed, which I think was in Bhubaneswar, or was it in Vizag? I think it was in Vizag.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was in Vizag, and that flight I missed by a big margin. By a
No, no,
big
it was
margin.
Chennai.
Oh, it was Chennai. Yeah, it was
We
Chennai.
flew out of Chennai. You were
Yeah.
supposed to fly. I mean, we flew out of Vizag. You were supposed to fly out of
Yeah.
Chennai.
And then I think certain things happened, and I just missed that flight. And then I mean, this was anyway since I mean I had left Delhi, I mean reached Kolkata, I had gone through the terrible highways of our country. I had reached Bhubaneswar, then I had reached Chennai, and then of course I missed the flight because we had reached late because I mean charging infrastructure, this that, I mean there are a million variables, but again I missed the flight. And the thing was that I was not as important as a lot of other guys to fly me out, because I was just like, I mean, okay,
So
it's better
This
to,
was Anag very very early days. So he was assisting us. He was shadowing us. He was watching how a drive gets done. But like this goes like into the deep end as far as straight into the deep end without a life vest as far as drives go, because this was a record run that was planned right down to the last minute. Of course, Murphy, as we said, was not
And
our friend on this drive.
and this, despite being the recce run, we had to do it like we were doing the record drive. I mean, we were, of course, shooting, so we were taking that time out. But other than that, we were just relentless on it. And I mean, I remember that one phone call that I had to make to Rahul, and I just asked, when am I supposed to go home? And he just laughed back and he was like, kar jana hai tujhe." And I was like, yes, please, please. But see, I did maintain a strong face in the car
You
the
did.
entire
No,
time.
you didn't
I
complain
was like,
once.
I'm not gonna show weakness. I did call Rahul and I was like, please, please, can I get
Help
out?
me.
Help me. But then, oh, mercy, that tire gave me so much mercy. Basically, that tire, we were like, I mean, we had the conversation, where can we keep the tire? And then we were like, okay, remove Anagh, put
So,
the tire.
would the Zippo drive be the most interesting drive you've done?
Interesting. I mean, it was definitely a great experience, I would say.
Was it your first time camping?
Yes.
Tell us a
No,
little
I
about
have camped. I mean, like with friends before.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was also pretty terrible. So,
Where
thi-
did you camp before that?
there's I think a lake near
Wait,
Dharamshala.
was it a campsite set up by
Yeah,
other people? No, that
yes,
doesn't count. You have camping,
but it
meaning
was
you.
still very terrible. It was actually worse than this one was. So, um, yeah, but Zippo, I do not. I do love adventure. I mean, I would say that you give me a challenge, I would be like, yeah, sure, camping, yeah, sure, cooking food in the wild, sure. But like, of course, we were not very well prepared, and again, time. Time was of the essence. I mean, we had to go out quickly, get the shoot done, and come back because I think we had to leave for another thing. We had some media drive coming, so you had to fly out or something. So we did not have time at all. So we knew that we had to shoot it all in one night, and I think we kept shooting till what, 2, 3.
Yeah.
We first reached
2, 3. We were shooting till 5 a.m.
Oh yeah.
So-
My brain did fog up after I think 1 or 2.
in the freezing cold next to a freezing cold river.
Yes. Then, as we were shooting, the funny incident that happened was that this was the feature with the lighters, the Zippo lighters. So we were doing our shoot. We were like, focusing the camera. We were having those nice lights, the flame on, the lighter lit up, and all of that. And then,
We made a friend.
yeah, we met a friend. I think it was pretty friendly, I must say. But
Yeah. So out of the darkness emerges this one black dog. Okay. And
he creeped up upon us. He was like right there. He was like
Yeah.
right there. And I would say that it could be a wolf because it was absolutely massive.
yeah.
It was huge. Okay. I mean, like, it was, we have.
And we weren't scared till the point that Harvinder said,
Yeah.
Pani ka atma.
Yeah.
Our cameraman Harvinder looks straight at the dog and goes like,
Panika.
Pani ka atma. In
And when he said
weirdest
that, I was
tone.
like, oh my God.
And this dog comes, checks us out, looks at the camp, and then again disappears into the.
He was black enough that in that quite black night, he just disappeared like a few feet into the gloom, and he just vanished. Right. And he came another time, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
I think
He came after we climbed into the tents also later that night.
Yes.
And I heard something. I don't know whether it was him. I just hope to God that it was.
Well,
And
the campsite that we chose was
it was
pretty
also
interesting.
the longest time that it's taken me. That drive was also the longest time that it's taken me to do 50 kilometers in my life.
Oh my God. It was actually
Luckily,
less than 50.
It's some 40 kilometers from the,
The
Atal
exit
tunnel
of the Atal tunnel to Manali.
to Manali. It took us 9 hours.
Yeah, 9.5 hours or something. I did not complete the entire thing because I parked the car in the middle somewhere.
Yeah.
I was sadly, of course, in the Isuzu V-Cross manual.
Manual.
And I was doing a kilometer in an hour. Less than that, I would say. Because, and the thing is that truck, I would call it a truck because it does need the kind of run up that a truck needs. I mean, I'm just sitting there doing nothing. just doing absolutely nothing. My left foot is shot to pieces. It was absolutely shot to pieces because I mean the clutch is, of course, it's stiff. These cars are built tough. So I mean the clutch, it's got so much travel. It's got the nice travel. That was still fine till I think I reached Manali and the mall road of Manali. Then it was that absolute incline with traffic, with crawling traffic where I had to drive that Isuzu. And it was, I mean, I just wanted to get out of the car and like, you know what, do one of those, get out of the car and
I
jump
remember
off.
the last 30 minutes as I watched the hotel light exactly 50 feet from where I was, just sitting in the car, losing my mind.
I too did not even do that. I
You
walked,
walked past me, yeah, which
yeah,
was worse for
because
me because I had nowhere to go backwards or forwards. I just see you going
because
with your
because
luggage, and I'm
because
like,
because because I saw that place which had this massive parking. It was shut.
yeah.
Right. I
And
just
you just
went.
pulled in, and
I just went to the gate and I just parked the car. I took my bag out and I started walking. Then the guard came running. Ki, Bhaiya, you cannot park here. Gate. I was like, sir, iska transmission gaya. And I had been smelling clutches, burning clutches for the last 2-3 hours, by the way.
that's crazy.
And I'm pretty sure mine was also up there, despite the torque that the Isuzu has, because it did not actually have a lot of grip on the tarmac. It had nice grip on, the dirt and the gravel. Tarmac, not really, not that good. So I had to put in a bit more. So of course my clutch was also not very happy. I could smell it burning, and then I was like, "Okay, I'm just parking it here. I cannot. It won't move.
Yeah.
It's gone." The guard looked at me. I looked at the guard, and then I was like, "I will give you $500 if you open the door." He opened the gate. He opened the gate, and I was very happy. I would have given him all the money that I had if he had let me park the car. But bless that man, what an honest man. He just,
Honest, huh?
yeah, I mean, like, he just gave me a parking slip
Yeah.
and took $100 from me.
Nice. Oh,
Yeah.
damn. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He took
that's
$100
incredible.
from me. He opened the gate and he was like, Kal subah 9 baje se pehle nikal lena. I was like, okay,
That's great.
bless you.
I mean, let us know what you think of this particular podcast where we've gone a little away from what we usually do, which is consumer centric. We've tried to tell stories of the BTS
Yeah.
from our so many drives. Maybe we will do a follow up with Rahul
I mean, there
Abhinav
are
with
a lot more. There
more.
are a lot
We've
more
just skimmed the
interesting
surface
ones.
of it.
Sometimes you plug in your car for charging and somebody unplugs it.
Yeah.
Sometimes you charge your car. I think Rahul
Sometimes
did.
you plug in your car for charging and then fall off to sleep 3 hours.
Yeah, and then you wake up and you have to lie to everyone that no, we were awake and we were driving.
Nobody believed us.
Nobody believed us. Obviously,
But on
sometimes
that
we take a
scale-
village electricity.
To charge a car.
Yeah,
We have a whole bhandara of these stories.
lots of
So
them.
let us know in the comments if you enjoyed this one. We'll do a second follow up with more people.
We
Thank
should.
you so much for tuning in to the Connecting Rod. That's it from us. Signing off.